Some people's treatments of their pets is simply incomprehensible. Everyday animals are abused, neglected, and left to die. That said, for every pet abuser out there are twice as many compassionate people willing to help an animal in need. Rudosum Street Dog Rescue is a non-profit in Bulgaria dedicated to saving street dogs. One day workers got a call, and though the shelter was full, they simply couldn't ignore it. Workers at the Rudosum Street Dog Rescue received a tip about a puppy that had been chained to a trailer without any food or water for 10 days. Strangers had attempted to bring the puppy food, but his owners would run off anyone who came near, saying the dog was suffering from a contagious disease. When rescuers got there, they found a severely dehydrated and starved pup with deformed front legs and a bad cough. When they broke him free, he was eager to follow. Rudosum took him in, and though he had no room in the main part of his shelter, he managed to get him his own crate. Workers decided to call the little guy Duke. The veterinarian on staff determined that Duke was only about 10 months old. The vet also did an examination to figure out just what was wrong with Duke's legs. It turned out that Duke didn't have an abnormal genetic condition. Rather, as a very young pup, he'd suffered blunt force trauma to his legs. It would take a number of painful operations to heal the poor guy, but because he was young, the medical staff was confident they'd be successful. The vets got to work right away, and they began breaking and resetting his bones. Duke had full casts on both of his front legs. During the process, workers said that Duke was always good as gold and just waiting patiently for it to all be over. Believe it or not, it didn't take Duke any time at all to learn to walk with his giant casts. After 2 weeks, he went in for a follow-up examination of his legs. The rescue workers hoped for the best. The veterinary staff could tell right away that Duke's overall health had greatly improved in that short amount of time. Then they removed the casts in order to examine his legs. The casts had worked. His legs were healing just as they'd hoped. Duke would likely still need surgery to correct all the damage that had been done, but this was a good start. The friendly pup was so calm and patient throughout the entire process that the vets quickly came to love him. They put his legs back in casts to give him more time to heal. They decided to wait a while longer before performing any surgery since Duke was still growing. Duke was loving his new life, even if he wasn't 100% well yet. He continued to periodically visit the vet and receive x-rays. Normally Duke stayed patient, but one time he chewed right through his bandages. Could you be mad at that face though? Soon enough it was time for his surgery. Thankfully Duke came out just fine. Some days he wasn't thrilled about the frequent vet visits. Luckily though, he had plenty of TLC throughout the whole ordeal. His legs continued to improve. But Duke still didn't have a permanent home. Then one day something completely unexpected happened. The rescue got an application for Duke's adoption. Workers carefully reviewed Duke's potential new owner and determined that she'd provide them with a wonderful home. Duke traveled all the way to the United Kingdom to live with his new family, and when he met them, they instantly clicked. Now Duke has the loving, stable home he's always deserved. What a happy ending for a very sweet pup. Thank goodness the good folks at Rudosum Street Dog Rescue stepped in and were able to give Duke a new lease on life. He deserved it.